Get started here. All right, so hello everyone. I am Stephanie Rideout, Leadership Fellow at Women Who Code. Thank you for joining today's session, Fireside Chat about Technology Returnship Programs with the Home Depot. Please welcome our speaker Rachel Modugno. Rachel leads the store checkout team at the Home Depot. She joined the Home Depot in 2007 as a business intelligence analyst in inventory planning and replenishment, and has since held positions of increasing responsibility. Rachel has worked in merchandising operations, supply chain technology, store freight receiving, and most recently, the senior manager over purchase order management, inventory allocations, and inventory commons. Throughout Rachel's career with the Home Depot, she has supported the Technology Internship and Mentoring programs, and recently worked with the DEI Council to launch the Home Depot's Technology Returnship Program that focuses on returning experienced technology professionals back to the workforce after a career hiatus. Thank you for joining me today, Rachel. I'm very excited for our fireside chat today. So, would you like to start us off by introducing yourself and sharing a little bit about your career journey?
Sure. I'm really excited to be here. So thanks for having me. I like to share my story because I don't believe there's a single path, and I think my journey is a really good representation of there is no set way to get to where you want to go. I was not as a student drawn to anything in particular. I had a very hard time figuring out what I wanted to do. I got into high school and I realized I did not like it. And I did not want to spend every day there. And the thought of spending 4 years in high school was torture. So at the end of my freshman year of high school, I somehow talked my parents into signing a piece of paper and I left. I quit school after freshman year. And I was very lost. I waited tables and I didn't know what I wanted to do. Got a GED because I knew I needed to keep moving forward somehow. Took that GED and I went to a 2 year technical college, just taking basic core curriculum classes, and still lost, still no clue what I wanted to do. Moved to a 4 year school because I realized that I did not want to wait tables in sports bars at night anymore. Learned that lesson real quick. And in I went to Kennesaw State University here in Georgia, and in my first year there, I had a professor in the math department who I adored. She was great. She made it fun. I loved her class. She also taught statistics and talked me into taking an elective in the stats department. And there it finally clicked, right? So here I'm 20 years old and it finally clicked what I was supposed to do. So I finished that 4 year degree with math and stats. And then I went straight into a graduate program in data science. And that was really where I think I found a passion. I enjoyed taking data and making it information. It felt so powerful to be able to look at a bunch of numbers and pull out something useful. I love trivia and facts. And so data science gave me that opening. And that's how I ended up at Home Depot in business intelligence. In 2007, it was the beginning of data science on a broad scale in business. And I got to do a bunch of different analytical reporting and fact finding. And I thought it was fun for about a year. And then I realized you can't eat your favorite food every day. You will not like it. And so data science stopped being as fun as it had been originally. But I started working on some operations projects where I got to work with technology teams. And it was like another light bulb moment, like, engineers, these are my people. I should be in technology. And so I made the move from the business over to tech. And I worked as a business analyst, so more functional architecture. I was never an engineer, so I always feel a little bit out of place in technology. I'm a little more on the functional side, but I got to work on a bunch of big projects and meet a ton of great people that I learned a lot from. And I just kept moving. Every 2 years or so, I would take on a new challenge. Any risk or challenge I could find, just jump. And so here we are 14 years later at Home Depot, and I jumped again. I just took over a terrifyingly big space in the store checkout process. And I'm excited to learn. I've been here about a month. I've gotten to go into a store, run the register. I got to do some of the cashier training, which is really exciting. And I'll continue to spend some time learning here at Home Depot.
That's fantastic. So I love the point that you made about there being no set path for success, and that's so true. Everyone's journey is totally different, and that is so amazing. From your personal experiences, was there a specific challenge that you faced in your career journey, and how did you overcome that?
Yeah, so two things come to mind actually. One was this common thread of I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know what I like. I don't know what's out there. The thing that I learned from constantly being in that spot was just keep moving, just keep going somewhere, keep moving forward. As long as I'm not stagnant, then I'm at least learning something. Even if what I'm learning is, oh, geez, I don't want to do data science. I just went and spent all this time getting this master's degree in it. It was a learning, just keep moving. And then the other thing for me personally, I wasn't really prepared to have to balance my career and my life the way that I ended up doing it. I thought when I started out, I was going to dive in. This was going to be it, my career number one. And then life happens, and for me, the realization that it's more career integration is the way I look at it. It's sometimes Rachel the mom, sometimes Rachel the youth sports coach, sometimes Rachel the career woman takes spot number one. It's okay. I integrate those two things so that the whole Rachel is a happier, more well-rounded person. So I have to tell myself all the time, it's okay. I don't have to go 100% on the work front. Right now, family needs me over here. Or right now, I personally need a little bit of rest or a break. And so allowing myself to take those opportunities and then not guilt myself about it. That was a really big learning early on in my career.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I love the point about the work-life balance. That is fantastic. So, well, what do you do in your current role at the Home Depot? What would you like to share about that?
Yeah, so like I said, about a month into this new role, technology director over the store checkout domain. So what that involves is the registers that the cashiers operate, the self checkout that if you've gone to Home Depot you may have used, and then all of the returns processes, among other things. Those are sort of the big things in this domain. A lot of my job is working with operations, working with the business, setting a strategic vision, say, here's where technology needs to be in 1, 3, 5 years to support growth or new developments that the company wants to offer to customers. Another big part of my job is investing in engineers, making sure that they are supported, they're challenged, they're growing, they're learning. I can't stand the idea of someone feeling stale in their job. I insist that we have fun. And so trying to make sure that the teams are communicating that it's a good, positive environment, that everyone is getting something out of their time on the team. Those are really, really big things for me that I spend a lot of time on. I also have, I call them work hobbies. The Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Council is one. That's the group that has made possible our returnship. So doing different talks, meeting people, going out and doing college recruiting, representing the company in different forums. I enjoy doing that as well, and that's a big part of this role.
Fantastic. Thank you. So, how has networking helped you to get to where you are today at the Home Depot? And what tips do you have for effective networking?
Sure. Networking is huge. Like most people, I don't have a ton of free time to sit around and read and learn. I have to talk to people. I have to have folks that I can use as a sounding board, so that I'm spending the time that I do have more wisely. I use my network to find opportunities, to give me a better perspective. My very close, long-term trusted, mentors are the ones that are able to say, no, you're thinking about this all wrong. Hold on a minute. Let's just calm down. Let's take a different perspective. I value that greatly. I look at a network as a savings account. You don't start to save when you need it. You have to invest on an ongoing basis for that network to be healthy and positive and there for you when you reach out to it. I sort of picture myself in the center, and the sunburst going out is my network. There are people that I am helping, there are people that are helping me, and there are people that are my peers, and we're just staying connected, making sure we don't go crazy in our current roles. And it's a little more tactical than it is big career strategic. I think it's really important to maintain those relationships. And for me, I have to do it in a way that's authentic. I think a lot of like what you imagine when you think of traditional networking, to me, it just feels icky. I'm not stuffy. I'm not that. I'm way more casual. And so for me, it's easier to catch up over a coffee or a lunch or even a happy hour. And it takes the pressure off of feeling like it's this big, stuffy, important networking mentor type conversation. So I think if you're working on building your network, or if you're just starting out in your career, the one thing I think is the most important is finding a way to make those relationships that feels authentic to you. Like, be truly who you are and let people know that, instead of trying to fit into some image that you may have of, stuffy corporate networking.
Yeah, that's so true. Authenticity really is key. That is so cool. Thank you so much for sharing those valuable tips. So earlier, just a little bit earlier, you mentioned that you're very committed to supporting engineers. So what are your thoughts overall about returnship programs?
I think it's timely. I think, honestly, returnship programs in the industry, especially in technology, are probably late, but better late than never. I think that especially if you look at what's happened to women in employment in the last 2 years during COVID, there's going to be a growing need to have a specialized on-ramp back into your career for men and women, but women took more of a hit in their careers during COVID than men did on the whole. I think there is no path, right? And everyone comes with some different perspective and a different need in a technology career. And so recognizing that is only going to make employers more powerful in the future. Their ability to draw great talent and retain great talent is going to be directly related to how they meet people where they are. So you need a little extra refresh. Great. You're going to be a loyal, dedicated, productive, positive associate when you join the team. Why wouldn't we invest a little time up front? We invest in the associates we have now. So I think that returnships are the beginning of what I hope are many different types of offerings in the industry that get people from a non-traditional background into technology.
Yeah, that is absolutely so important. So, you were telling me recently that the Home Depot has an awesome program to help employees returning to work to develop the skills they need to return to the market, or to level up. So, can you share about the Home Depot's Technology Returnship Program?
Yeah, this is when I reflect on my career, maybe my single most proud accomplishment. The THD team that put this together was a small group. Very quickly, between inception of the idea and hiring our first cohort, was less than 9 months, which is absolutely incredible when you think of how slow large companies can move sometimes. Ours is a 6-month program. The first 3 months is an in-house boot camp that we already had at Home Depot. We used to skill up our own engineers or folks that were coming from the field to the corporate office. So a store associate who has pursued a technology career, and we take them through a boot camp and place them with Home Depot engineering teams. We use that for the first 12 weeks. It's guided instruction as well as self-study, and they work on a full stack project. At the end of that, they are then placed with a balanced team. They are working as an engineer for 3 months with an engineering team. They've got mentors all the way through the program. They've got a good relationship with their managers, meeting weekly throughout even the boot camp. so that we can give them the best chance of success when we place them. They learn how Home Depot works. They get their skills refreshed. And to me, I think confidence is one of the biggest pieces here. It can be daunting to go back into something that you left years ago, and being able to support these folks and watch their confidence grow, watch their skills come back. It's like, oh my gosh, it's going to be really powerful when we get through a couple of years of these and we can look around and say, man, there's so many great engineers that just needed this different on-ramp back into technology. I'm really excited. Our pilot cohort is running right now, and they will go through the spring, and at the end, we'll have the opportunity to extend full-time employment to them. Which, if you're thinking of someone who was at home as a caretaker for years, that's game changing for a family to be able to get back into a technology career that has as many opportunities as Home Depot does.
That is fantastic. That is an amazing program. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Fantastic. So many in our audience might be wondering whether they should become a data scientist or how to become a data scientist. And what advice do you have for them?
So I pursued an academic path. I think at the time data science was just emerging in full force, and so academics seemed like the way that I needed to go. Now, with the amount of information available online, I think I would have done it differently. You don't have to jump into the deep end. You don't have to look at it and say, I need to go straight to certification, master's degree, whatever that thing is. The competencies of data science are so accessible. You could start small and see if you enjoy it. I used to tutor student athletes at college in statistics, and I would say, oh, great, you're on the baseball team. Let's go to MLB.com and pull down last year's data set. What can we learn, right? What can we learn just from the numbers and running a couple of simpler models? You could use Excel if you're really starting out. There are plenty of different ways to go. Heck, I even did a graduate project trying to predict the best wines out of last year's grapes. I did not learn anything. Weather is very complicated, but anything that you're passionate about, that you're interested in, is going to make it so much easier to look at data and pull out those nuggets because you're curious about it and you want to learn more. So I would suggest that just starting where your passion is and see what you can learn from what already exists, right? The world is full of data. Every website is happy to give you all of their data. So go and take it and play with it and see what you can learn. And if it really hooks you, then you think about those certifications and are there tools that I would like to be more proficient in and that type of thing.
Yeah, wonderful points. Thank you so much. Awesome. So in a moment, we are going to move to Q&A. So if anyone has anything they would like to ask Rachel, please let us know in the Q&A and we will read those out loud in just a moment. So before we move to that, Rachel, is there anything else that you would like to tell us?
No, I just want to say thank you for having me and for hosting this forum, and well done to everyone who made time to invest in yourselves and be at this conference. I think that's awesome. That's a huge step. So great job, and thanks for having me.
Fantastic. So we do have one question so far in the chat. How do you strategize your next career move?
Oh man, I jump. Like, that's it. If there is a risk, I can't say no. I think that's in my personality. I'll give you some examples. I had to move roles while I was on maternity leave with my second baby. And I had two options. One of them was this team needs an overhaul. They need to be rebuilt from the ground up. Their projects are massively bloated. We've got to descope. We've got to realign things. And the other was a much less hectic, less dramatic team. And I looked at that and I saw the challenge and I took the challenge. I early in COVID had the opportunity to join customer delivery, which was absolutely exploding. I jumped. I took that big challenge. I think that's probably one of the keys is I keep looking for something that is going to push me. The roles that I end up taking are the ones that I'm a little bit afraid of, right? Store checkout is bananas. What if that breaks? Oh my gosh, that's terrifying. And that's what excited me about it, is I'm going to push myself a little bit more than I am comfortable with doing. And that's usually how I see success.
Fantastic. So we do have some more questions that have come in. If a company wants to support returnships, where should we start? As a smaller company, we don't already have a 3-month boot camp ready to go.
Sure. There are a couple of great organizations that handle that for you. There are different companies that you could work as, even if you have a contractor, if you work with a vendor and you have contract employees that come in, you can use a niche company that these are the contract employees that they bring you. They've already put them through a boot camp. They've already given them the support to revamp their career. And there's a couple of different organizations out there that almost give you a turnkey returnship solution so that you can get those candidates in and you can support those candidates without having to be the size of Home Depot or having to build out all of those pieces in-house.
Perfect. And another question kind of falls right in line with that. What are 1 or 2 challenges you faced in launching and executing returnship programs?
The first one right up front was, do these people really exist? Are there these engineers out there who are not working as engineers right now, who are looking to come back? I had to combat that with a lot of market research and data. No one can argue with facts, right? And so through the fact-finding mission and benchmarking with other industries, I learned that not only do these people exist, but these people are really high caliber associates if we can get them in. So I ended up I got one of my UX partners who's much better at visualizing and describing than I am, to build a persona. And that's what we took to the executive leadership team. I think we named her Violet or something like that. We're like, here's Violet. She's got a master's degree. She has 10 years of experience. She's likely to be with the company at least 7 years after we hire her. She's going to be a high performer, but she needs a little bit of help up front to get back into our current skills or our current tools and be productive with the team. And that sort of oriented everyone to the mission. But that was definitely the first one. It's like, I don't think that these people exist. It's like, oh, no, they do. They do. They're everywhere. We just have to go find them.
Fantastic. So another question, what are you looking for in candidates for returnship? How can someone prepare for that opportunity?
So what we were looking for is, a balanced experience at some point prior in their career. Somebody who understood what it was to be an engineer and who was ready. I think that was the key. Were they at the stage in their life, the stage in their career that they were ready to dedicate themselves back into a returnship program and really get back into full-time employment? It's a big change, especially if someone's been at home as a caregiver. It's a change for everyone in the household. And so we needed folks who were going to be successful, so had a technology foundation, and who were demonstrating their ability to learn. Because it is a lot of learning. It is a lot of learning to go through in a short amount of time. And so we wanted folks who had shown that they were investing individually in themselves, that they were working through this on their own, and that they were really eager to jump in and go whole hog back into tech.
Awesome. So another question, how do you find these candidates?
We were really lucky. Our pilot cohort, we kept very small while we were learning how the program was going to run. So we have 5 great women in right now going through the first cohort. Home Depot is a big name. And so we were able to leverage our existing partnerships with Society of Women Engineers, any other number of groups, and advertise our job posting. We got 200 applications within the first 72 hours that our posting was live on the website. And that was the moment I sort of knew, I was like, I could exhale. For about a year, I was worried we were not going to get what we wanted out of this program. And when I saw the way that just our organic advertising of it on the Home Depot Instagram and Slack and all of that, we put it on our LinkedIn profiles and it just exploded, which I think demonstrates the amount of people that are looking to get back into technology that need a little bit of a refresh up front. I think that was really, really powerful.
Awesome. We have some positive feedback in the chat. Someone says, wow, that's great. So many applications came in. I love this program. So that's really spectacular. So another question for the returnship, do you have to be based in a certain city or are these positions remote?
So at the time that we hired earlier in the fall this year, we hired out of Atlanta and Austin, where we have two of our technology headquarters. Since then, all of the Home Depot technology positions have been formally named location independent. So our current cohort is remote. They will continue to be remote. And I suspect that when we hire for the next cohort, we'll be open to almost every state in the United States, which is amazing. We'll be able to get so many great engineers back into a really, really positive, lucrative engineering career.
Yeah, that is spectacular for sure. I love the inclusivity of that. That is fantastic. So at the moment, I do not have any current questions in the Q&A. I think we can stick around for another minute. And if you have a question, please let us know. Okay, something just popped in. What do you recommend as far as addressing a career gap in a job interview that is not explicitly a returnship?
I sort of have more of a bold approach to it. Don't be apologetic. Life is life. Tell your story. Tell your journey. You didn't, decide to take a break for no reason. Something else happened to be more important. Wear that proudly. Explain what it was and show how you've done the work to get back in yourself. How have you been educating yourself? How do you learn? How do you consistently grow? And I think probably the hardest part is that little voice in the back of your head that's like, you need to apologize or try to make up for it somehow. That's crap. Life is life. Own your journey and explain it proudly and show how it has made you who you are today. And you hopefully the person on the other side of that is got the same perspective. And if you want to fill that space in with something, show what else you've been doing with your time and show how you've grown a skill. If you were running the PTA or you were running a youth sports league, guess what? That's leadership and organization. Put it down.
I love that, own your journey. That's fantastic. So another question in the chat. Do you have a website to learn about the returnship program?
We do, and we also have an upcoming career day that will be run virtually. If you go to thd.co/career day, you'll be able to see a panel of speakers, a whole bunch of different folks that are going to talk about their teams, their organizations. It's going to have a virtual career fair portion of it. The returnship will be represented there, as well as other programs like our apprentice programs or our full stack engineering job family. There's a lot of great discussion that's going to take place and a good opportunity to meet technology leaders at Home Depot, especially if you're searching for something. Come meet some folks, make some connections, and see what clicks.
And the next question kind of goes right in line with that. When will the next Home Depot returnship program start?
So right now we're running these fall to spring. So we started October, November, and December are the boot camp studies portion with instruction, and January, February, March are the embedment in the full stack teams. And I think for the foreseeable future, our next couple of cohorts will follow the same schedule, October to March. We were really conscious not to start this during the summer because it's a time where childcare is already crazy. We don't want to ask someone who's trying to return to do so at the most logistically difficult point of the year. Hopefully, my hope is that as this program grows and we're able to offer more than engineering and move into product management, data science, user experience, that we're able to run these cohorts at different times of the year. But next year's cohort will start in October, and probably the rec will be posted next August. In the meantime, though, there are great apprentice programs at Home Depot that are running all the time. So I encourage anyone who's looking for that to go to the virtual career day and see what's available.
Fantastic. That is so awesome. If there are any last questions, now is the time. Okay. Well, if there are no further questions, we can close the session out a little bit early. So awesome. So Rachel, I just want to say a big thank you so much for joining us today and sharing all your wonderful knowledge and sharing this awesome returnship program with us. It's so fantastic. And it was just so inspirational to hear about your journey. And I'm so glad that I could be part of this amazing session with you, because you were just absolutely fantastic. So thank you everyone in the audience so much for joining us. Please feel free to check out some of the other sessions. We also have a really exciting networking feature. If you have not had a moment to try that out, please definitely do. It is a lot of fun. And also check out our expo booth. There's a lot of things happening there throughout the day. And please enjoy the rest of your time at Connect Forward. So again, thank you so much, Rachel. Everyone, thank you so much, everyone, and have a wonderful day.
Thanks, y'all. See you later.